Hi friends, welcome back. Today's topic for the interaction is how to achieve the best of our employees. In the today's situation of financial crisis, uh, the company is suffering a lot and they are trying to come out of this crisis and follow the growth path. Under the situation, it's the responsibility of every employee how best he can perform and how best he can give back to the company. So let us see the topic achieving the best out of employees in a depth. But before that, for the sake of new viewers, let me introduce myself. I am DT Jadhav, CEO of the company DTJ Manufacturing Excellence Support Private Limited, Pune based company. Our clients are micro, small, medium industries and we are providing TPM based training, guidance, support, need based hand holding, critical maintenance services, and low cost automation solutions to our clients. In our training, we cover right from a machine operator up to the plant head, operation head, the whole team, so that they develop themselves and they perform for the company's better productivity, quality, cost, delivery, and safety. So, this is about me and my team. So, let us see the subject in a depth how to achieve the best of our employees. Now, first, let us try to understand what is best. Let us try to define it. Perhaps 90% of the people they feel best output from the hands is the best of any employee. But we must keep it in mind every human being has three energy sources. One is hand, second is brain, and third is heart. So unless we utilize any employees or any persons hand along with the brain and heart, we are not achieving the best out of our employee and out of our people. So we have to achieve the best out of hand, out of brain, out of heart. There is no theory or there is no science as such. According to me, this is art. And every person who is at leadership position, he should know this art. And then he should follow mentorship and parental approach to develop his subordinates. So they try to deliver the best out of them. So let us see what is best by hands. Means trying to utilize his knowledge and skill, and best by hands is doing the certain set of activities. What to do and how to do. We have to list down so that he will utilize his knowledge and skill and will try to get best out of his hands. Then best of brain. What for this set of activities are being done? What is to be monitored out of it? And in monitoring, if at all there are some gaps, what to improve? And then how to improve? That is best out of brain. And best out of heart is a winning attitude. Finally, what my company wanted to achieve. So, what I should achieve and how I should achieve it and how I should sustain it. So, logically, the best out of any employee is best by head, best by brain, and best by heart. Let us see how to do that. There is approach with 7 steps. If at all we wanted to achieve best out of our employees, our subordinates, We have to develop them. We have to help them to grow. What are those 7 steps? Education and training to achieve best out of hand, brain and heart. This is apart from the technical skill trainings. Then clearly redefined role and responsibility and scope. Normally, it so happens at the time of joining, a well-defined role responsibility paper is issued to a newly joined employee. But whether it is being referred in a day-to-day work, perhaps no. So we have to redefine his role, responsibility, and it should be available in front of him in his working area. Third is performance monitoring. Fourth step is task management calendar. If he has to show his performance, he has to be well organized in terms of task and time. So that in a monthly calendar, he addresses all the tasks which ultimately helps him to improve his performance. And the periodical review by his senior for necessary guidance, support, and counseling with parental approach, with mentorship approach. And finally, when employee is trying to do much better, recognition, appreciation, and giving him further opportunities to do much better. So these are the 7 steps to develop our subordinates and to get best out of them. So let us see each step in a depth. Now let us take one case study. So for easy understanding of our people. Let us say that there is a frontline engineer or supervisor and he is trying to get the output from his team, say 25 people working in his area. Then first thing his frontline engineer or supervisor, he should know what he should get out of his team. So what are the set of activities he should get it done from his people? For example, you can see in this calendar, doing 1S, 2S activity on day-to-day basis. So what is that 1S, 2S? How it is to be performed and why it is to be performed. So like that 1S, 2S, autonomous maintenance, JSCLRIT, abnormality highlighting and fixing, then production norms along with standard operating procedure, self inspection, I check and control on the NG products, material handling discipline of good products, and when process requires some on time fine tuning, how to give offsets, how to change the inserts, how to carry out setup change, then how to observe the safety while working, and how to do the gauges handling. So these are the set of activities. Normally each machine operator carries out in his shift. So first thing is frontline engineer should know how his people should work in his shifts and what are the kind of activities, how those are to be carried out and why. Means if not done, what can go wrong. So this is a training for the frontline supervisor to get best out of hands out of his team. Then the training is how to get best out of brain. So when certain set of activities are being done, how it is to be monitored in terms of productivity, quality, cost, delivery, safety. So what is the monitoring at the cell level? Once we start monitoring, what are the production losses? What are the defect losses? What are the breakdown losses? What are the cost losses? And where are the gaps? Then improving analytical ability by doing viva analysis of any loss, any defect, any breakdown. Following fault tree analysis technique for resolving chronic defects. A, B, C type of defects. This kind of training will help a production supervisor to improve his analytical ability. And then finally comes how to take the corrective action. What is the Kaizen eye? How to come to root cause? How to generate Kaizen idea and implement Kaizen? How to monitor the results? So this kind of training is to develop the production supervisor to get best out of his brain. Then third category of training to get the best out of his heart is what is that company's objectives are there. Whether those objectives are linked in the form of targets to the cell level and how he is going to achieve. Some measurable for productivity, how to improve on production per hour, how to improve on output per man, how to achieve zero defect production process and how to sustain it, how to tackle cost losses in terms of waste control, cost improvement, value adding, value engineering proposals, delivery, how to reduce the manufacturing lead time, how to operate with reduced WIP so that we have a better control, how to ensure single piece flow in itself. In safety, all proactive and preventive approach, how to identify unsafe conditions, unsafe actions, and how to take the actions by doing the kaizens. And in moral, what is the importance of system adherence, how to initiate TPM circles. So all people's brain power can be used for improving the things in the cell working. So these are the kind of trainings to get the best out of his heart. So training topic, apart from his technical requirement, daily requirement, to get best out of hands, best out of brain, and best out of heart. These are the trainings we have to conduct for the frontline supervisor or engineer. Then well-defined role and responsibility, defining his scope of area. And this paper should be available at his workplace and he should see it on day-to-day basis. So role and responsibility for the routine task, role and responsibility for the system in his area and system adherence. What are the measurables so that there are reactive improvements to tackle the losses? There are proactive improvements to improve the things, and there are certain preventive activities. Third role of responsibility is conduct. How to maintain the discipline in the cell working, how to remain consistent, and how to give the committed performance. And then lastly, coordination. This is equally important. Whether he can work as a team player, whether he can work in a certain platform as a team leader, whether he can initiate and drive the TPM circles. So well-defined role and responsibility. Now he is fully trained. Now he is clear, absolutely clear what for he is answerable for. Third and fourth step comes performance monitoring along with the task management calendar for the month. So what are the measurables in his area? How to monitor them and for how to improve them? This is a task management calendar. What are the list of tasks for following on day-to-day basis? What are the systems in his area and what is the frequency he should follow that? What improvements related tasks he should do in terms of productivity, quality, cost, delivery, safety and moral. And at what frequency he should have the TPM circle meetings so that small improvements by involvement of all his people can be done. And self-review and improvement actions. So by the step 4, he is now well organized. He is fully trained. He is clear on his role and responsibility. He is very clear what are the measurables for his performance and how to organize himself for the task management for a month. Step 5 and step 6 is equally important for the next senior person for the production engineer. That senior person should have a periodical interaction with him for necessary guidance and support. So while reviewing his subordinate, that senior person who is performing as a mentor's role, he should try to understand what is the task adherence, what is the effectiveness of the task completed, what are the improvements done, what are the results achieved in terms of PQCD, and if at all there are further training needs for that person, and what kind of support is required. This kind of frequent review will help a person to feel secured and supported. So step 5 and step 6 is equally important. And the last step, step 7, if any employee is trying to do much better, showing his performance, periodically we should recognize his effort, we should appreciate. There are ways and means to appreciate somebody by displaying his photographs, what achievements he has done, sometimes giving him gifts by calling his family members and through their hands giving him gifts, and those gifts are also can be used at his house in a day-to-day work. We must understand that family members motivation is a very important factor for getting the best out of the employee. Family members can do a much better role, and as he moves forward, whether we can give him more opportunities, more responsibilities so that he can grow, we can increase his scope of area. And once he is clear he can do much better, then giving him timely increments and timely upgradation and whatnot. So with these 7 steps, there is a transformation of the employee from liability to asset. The first phase is I need to work in the company. That is by hands. Second phase of transformation is I exist in my company. My existence is seen. That is best out of his brain. And I feel secured and I find future in this company. That is best out of his heart. So this is how transformation of employee takes place from liability to asset. And as the employee do much better, they grow along with the company. We have taken the case study of a production supervisor or production engineer. But this approach is equally applicable for all functions like production, quality, maintenance, support functions, all levels, right from frontline people, engineers, managers, function leaders. This is applicable for all. And each leadership position person should take the responsibility to develop his subordinates. And we should keep in mind the training and development of our people is a continuous task. It cannot be a one-time task so that sometime before we have provided him training, now he should do it. No, it is not like that. It is the ongoing interaction, guidance, support, a mentorship approach, parental approach. This is how the people grow, and as the people grow, the organization also grows. And according to me, a 20% weightage should be given in a KRA for subordinate development because this is the base for any organization and employee must deliver the best out of their hands, brain and heart. If any organization follows this approach, I am sure they are on the path of vertical growth. So I am sure you are convinced with this approach. You will think on that, you will further study in your company, you will interact with your people, your team, and follow this approach. So thank you very much. Let us meet next time with the next topic of your interest. Have a good day. Thank you.